Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today, we are finally doing this video. We are sorry for the delay. You know, we all busy these days, but we are finally doing our breakdown slash theory discussion, you name it, on Spider-Man No Way Home official trailer. So before we start, George, what do you think, man? I'll toss the hat over to you, my friend.
It was action packed, you had everything coming at you, like, whoa, whoa, where do I start, We got to see Lizard, we got to see Electro, we got to see Doc Ock, we got to see all of them. And that was amazing, it was really cool. I'm really optimistic, but I'm also really not optimistic at the same time. Because the more they pile this on, the more it's like, yeah, there's going to be this, there's going to be this. It's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, hold on, this might not work, this might be bad. And the more they do, the more likely they are to fail. The more pressure they do, the more hype there's going to be, and the more hype there's going to be, the harder it's going to be to pull it off. I mean, I'm still hopeful.
That's understandable. You're a bit cautiously optimistic because it could be too much of a good thing and fall on their own 2 feet doing it, you know? That's understandable, man. That's understandable. To me, thank God they did not reveal Toby and Andrew, because if they did, I would have honestly hated the trailer. I'm sorry. I am sorry.
Oh yes, totally, totally.
I have seen people say that they do not like this trailer because of the fact they did not show Toby and Andrew. If you know what's gonna happen, you shouldn't let a trailer spoil your surprises. It would be weird if they showed you all the cameos that were rumored or are likely to happen. And if they were to happen and they show you here, it ruins the surprise. Like, you're not gonna be excited. You're just gonna be like, oh yeah, I know, because they showed it in the trailer. That's the thing I liked about this trailer, because if you know what you know, then expect it when you see the movie. For now, I like the fact that we're doing more confirmation on things we were speculating earlier. Like in the first trailer, we speculated that it could be Sandman and Electro and also Lizard. And in this trailer, they were like, yeah, those three big boys are back. And I mean, bro, they finally made Electro cool again. Can I just say that up front?
Definitely,
Electro is not that some geeky nerd with blue all over himself. Nah, bro. They gave him the yellow lightning.
and his teeth gap reduces. that still bugs me. Oh my god, that one.
Oh, I remember watching Chasm 2 and I'm like, oh my god, they actually did that? Like,
It was so obvious as well. They literally could have just not done it, but then they just went. I was like, why?
you're telling me electricity just so happens to put his two teeth back together when they were both like at gaps, and I'm like, okay. But bro, I love it, man. Like, I love this trailer just because if you know what to expect, then watch the movie to expect it. If you don't know what you're gonna be in for, they show you what you're gonna be in for, which I seriously love. One, I'm just gonna say this right now, the villains look amazing.
Oh my god, they do, yeah.
What I liked about this, from what they've shown us, like there is like that one still of Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin, when he's like flying through the smoke and he's in his OG.
Oh, you Green Goblin as well, yeah.
Green Goblin, he's in this movie. So from what I think so far, these characters, they will be in their OG outfits somewhat, but then along the way to the movie, they'll get a few upgrades, like we see with Doc Ock. You see how his tentacles are having this red metallic color.
Yeah.
And I think a theory, which I feel like is gonna be really likely, I think in that bridge scene, and there is a scene in the trailer where Doc Ock's arm is lunging towards Peter, and the Iron Spider on the nanotech suit is a bit charred off. The nanotechnology, since there's not a lot of that, right, that is trying to traverse through Peter as much as it can and protect him where he can, even though the nanotechnology is scarce. So that's why it couldn't protect his whole face. You know, it only could protect the chest area than his actual face. But I feel like Doc Ock's gonna be stealing that nanotechnology somehow, and it's gonna like mesh together with his suit, which would be so sick. I mean, it looks cool. And they did show like a quick still of a goblin flying and throwing like sort of like ninja stars or whatever. That's supposed to be Goblin's new look as well, where he has like this hoodie. There's more purple in the Green Goblin suit, at least from what I've seen. It's more like a battle damaged kind of suit. But dude, I'm just like it's just so surreal. Like, this looks like there's stakes and there looks to be consequences, because like, bro, it's not a Spider-Man movie if Peter does not get his way. Like, if Peter gets his way in this movie, I'll be surprised, but this movie has to give Peter a catalyst to be like, yeah, you cannot have it all. If you think you can, this is what it leads to.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane.
Man, there's even like all this other new minor details. Like, they show new scenes of the black and gold Spider-Man suit when he's about to kick Electro's ass, man. I was like, yo, okay. I was like, because I remember seeing that in promotional material and not really feeling it, because I was like, they really have to do all these different suits and all that. And then I remembered it's all about toys, and with toys,
we've got to have money.
But I mean, there's so many new things like the new suits. You see that black and gold suit, which I'm really interested as to like what's the circumstance for him getting that suit, or why does he have to use that kind of suit in particular. But then we get new shots of the new suit of Peter's integrated suit, where it's like a mesh of the Far From Home suit and the Iron Spider, because the Iron Spider logo is more predominant, but the features, or at least most of the DNA and most of the base of the Far From Home suit is in the suit, like the whole black and red. But there is a lot more of the gold Iron Spider logo traveling down the suit, which I really love. Another thing I'm really surprised is like how what's the catalyst of all the villains raining havoc? It's because of the fact Doctor Strange is like, hey Peter, they're destined to die if because they fought Spider-Man, and if we don't do this, they could just cause more damage. And Peter, this is the case where I will have to agree. Well, in a way, you can't help but blame Peter for going like, I kind of have to stop you, even though I think what you think you're doing is right. Because Spider-Man's not all about killing; he's all about redemption and having to say, hey man, there's another way through this other than putting yourself in harm's way. And I like the fact that that is what generates animosity between Doctor Strange and Peter Parker, where you see him, he lassos him like a goddamn cowboy, and then does that soul spell, and I was like, whoa, it's about to get real. Because
Yeah.
if you pissed off Doctor Strange, that means you're really not doing a good thing at all. And I'm just wondering, like, why Peter's going through so much of the trouble, you know? And he's like, he has to clear his name, but he's also like, damn it, these villains all died by Spider-Man. I have to be different than that, you know? Before we get to talk about that town, I want to talk about another villain as well, Electro. They gave him the mask. They gave him that little like iconic Electro mask, and I like the way it's subtle. It's not
Yeah.
stupid. Like no offense. The thing I don't get about Sony was, why did you go for something completely different, like way off the character? In my opinion, like, what's blue? Like, Electro's not associated with blue electricity. It's on the iconic yellow. And what I like about it here is, like, I get Spider-Man PS4 vibes in terms of the Electro's new design.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, you can see how much of that template is there with like the whole vest, with all that intricate kind of plating and wiring to allow him to be to allow him to have his electricity, right? But I even like the subtle details when he's about to shoot his electricity and when he's charging up, his electro mask forms around him like this sort of like aura.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And I was just thinking, wow, that is good, subtle attention to detail. But man, I think the talk of the town is that shot. That big shot, if you know what I mean. The whole Peter fighting against the big three, you know, Lizard, Sandman, and Electro, and how could this be Toby and Andrew's entrance? That's the thing I'm so confused about. There's 3 scenes that they show you that could possibly tie in to the fact that Toby and Andrew are coming without a doubt. Because in the end of the trailer, Doctor Strange goes, he can't contain something, or he says something along the lines of, I can't stop them, because he believes that there's a threat coming through the shattered multiverse, because we see around him that the sky is pretty much
Tumbling apart.
turning purple, and it's like, yeah, it's falling apart. And there's also another thing of where they show MJ falling through some scaffolding, and it really mimics Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Gwen's scene before she's dead. People are saying, possible theory again, that this could be where Toby and Andrew show up. Andrew Garfield Spider-Man swoops in, saves MJ as a way to redeem himself, and then you get some chatter between the two from the distance, like Toby and Andrew, and then Tom Holland Spider-Man, he jumps up and he lands and he's like, who the hell are you guys? It's like a, oh crap, they're finally here kind of thing. But to me, I was one of those people that was not a fan of the whole multiverse idea, because I feel like you're just doing this for a quick buck, or you're just trying to chime off of like the success of what has happened before. I'm still gonna be I'm just gonna be cautious about Toby and Andrew appearing, because we don't know how long their screen time is gonna be. For all we know, they might just show up in the 3rd act and that's it. And to me, if that's the case, I would feel a bit disappointed, because I feel like you could introduce Toby and Andrew earlier in the movie, because it would be like if you did the portal scene from Avengers, but all the heroes didn't know who the Avengers are. So they're just like, hey, screw it, we're heroes, so let's go fight together. Like, I don't want a situation like that where it's like a portal scene, but it's not properly fleshed out. I would want Toby and Andrew to get proper screen time, or at least enough screen time so that they're able to fit into the movie and not feel like, okay, we need 3rd act, let's make it big, let's just add these 2 Spider-Man in just cause, without even fleshing them out. Because I don't want it to be like a coincidence.
Yeah, they should develop them, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want it to be like a big coincidence, like, oh, you're Spider-Man, we're good, right? Okay, let's go fight the villains. I want them to have at least form a camaraderie. Toby and Andrew could also be the mentors, or at least the Spider-Mans from their own experience. Be like, Peter, we've been through so much, but we can also help you so that later on in your life, you don't have to go through the same things we did. You can be better than that. Have anything else to add on? Like,
So at the moment, I'm thinking, so it's going to be the big thing, you know, it's going to be the multiverse going to split up. He's like, oh my god, I'm going to have to fight all these guys, and he's going to fall out with Doctor Strange at some point, and he'll meet Spider-Man at some point, and then I think
Yeah.
there'll be a big fight with the Sinister Six, and there might be an ulterior villain, like a bigger villain again, maybe not controlling it all, but fitting in there somewhere.
Yeah, because the thing is, there's certain frames in the trailer, right, which goes to your theory. We don't even know if there's going to be a Sinister Six, because so far they showed off 5 villains, being all the OG villains. There's another additional member they have shown off, right? And another thing is, there is like one frame in the trailer where Doc Ock, he's like, I think he's in that same sort of area where like with the scaffolding, and he's falling, and like this beam of electricity is shooting. And I'm thinking, are they going to do the same arc for him in Spider-Man 2, where he starts out being evil, but then he realizes like, I'm causing more destruction, and then it'll be like, I'll help you, Spider-Man, like that kind of thing. So it helps not betray the character from. They still retain the same storytelling, if you know what I mean, which I think will be so sick. If you completely betray all the past story arcs for even some of the characters like Electro and all that, and just go like, oh, they're bad because they're bad and they hate Spider-Man. That's it, done. Even though this is like an alternate version of the Spider-Man, they also have to add on like a different motivation. What drives them to want to kill this alternate version of Spider-Man if they weren't able to kill their own Spider-Man? You know what I mean? Another thing with this movie is that it's got to set up Doctor Strange 2 somehow because of the whole multiverse angle and that. The movie's literally called Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, so there's gonna be some multiverse shenanigans going on. So I feel like this movie, maybe a post-credit scene, or in this movie as well, we get like some sort of dialogue with Doctor Strange where he's like about how the multiverse is like this dangerous concept, or it's like one of those concepts that can go out of hand, and he's like trying to go down the rabbit hole and investigate. He may sense that there are more multiverse problems happening that he has to take care of because he's the Sorcerer Supreme, perhaps, which will be cool too. All I'm saying is, let's all be cautiously optimistic, because at this point we have to also be mindful of the fact that there might not be certain characters that show up yet. Rumors of certain characters or leaks or whatnot, because at this point, there's no doubt about it. This movie has been leaked from plot point A, B, and C. There's no doubt about that. But for those that actually want to really watch it, myself included, at least enjoy the movie for what it is. And if the cameos do happen, then that's good. It's one of the biggest comic book movies yet, and if it fails, I mean, I don't know how it will fail in my opinion.
I'm ever hopeful, but yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like the reason why it would fail for some people is because of like the expectations they set for this movie. And I get that some people are going into this movie for MCU Spider-Man to change, and for him to not be the Tony Stark idol, for him to be his own independent person. And that's all cool too. But I also want this movie to stick the landing on its own 2 feet because of the fact it did the biggest pool dive yet, and it still hasn't landed. And if it successfully lands, that's great. But with this movie pretty much going gung-ho with all the multiverse stuff, it could also be a bit messy. Maybe some things don't get as developed, so we don't know. Until then, that wraps up another video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Please stay tuned for more. Stay tuned for our other video on Hawkeye. We will make sure to cover Hawkeye. We plan on covering all 3 episodes of the season so far, since episode 3 is coming out like next week. So we hope to get this video out as soon as possible. Please show some love for this video if you can. Just like and subscribe and share this with friends, as this will help boost the growth of our channel. And see you guys on the next one. Take care.
See ya.